as a person in the diaspora, sometimes you ask yourself, well, who will claim you? And then it really is up to you to claim a place for yourself. The girl whispered to the doll, like a fish coming up for air, a fish doll on a pile of trash, a fish doll capsized, a fish doll heading home, capsized, coming up for air. And then she debated to herself the meaning of home for the fish doll.
So tell me a little bit about your writing process and how you write.
Well, I used to, process what was going on around me I think in dreams. Like, whatever you're worried about, you think about throughout the day. And I think that whatever thoughts you have before you go to bed somehow manifest in your dreams. At least it seems to be the case for me. And so back when I was a student at Iowa, I would have all these thoughts at night and somehow dream dreams and wake up and write them.
Do you still do that automatic writing when you kind of wake up in the morning?
I do now, actually. It's interesting you ask, because I do that, but what comes out now is poetry.
Oh, really?
And I think that, and it's horrible poetry, I'm like the worst poet. But I jot them down anyway because it's kind of fun.
I wanted to ask you about the audience of your book, and when you're writing, who are you writing for? What is the audience you have in mind?
Well, first I'm writing a story that matters to me.
Yeah.
I write it because it is important to me to write it, for whatever reason. So I am my own primary audience, and it is not in a narcissistic way. It just is that. But I'm also always aware of, at least these days, I'm aware that there will be fellow Nigerians reading it, there will be fellow Africans reading it, there will be Americans reading it. I used to not really think about that because I didn't really even believe that my stories would be published. I was writing because I had a need, a desire to write stories. That was my way of processing things I saw around me. But now, people are reading and people are saying things, and so you can't help but be aware that these are the possible responses to what you write.
Can you tell me a bit about the reception of your work and what
in
kind
Nigeria or where? Anywhere?
Well, yeah, maybe in Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, there were people who said, what are you doing? It's an abomination to even write what you're writing. You've been brainwashed by the West. You've lost your way, that sort of thing. Some people felt terrible for my parents and embarrassed for them. But I've seen changes. So there are people who now will write me, personal emails and send messages via my website saying, I'm a Nigerian, I'm queer, and your book really spoke to me, and thank you for writing my story. And, there are many, many of them, but you'll never see them coming up to me in public or saying something in an audience publicly. So I think it's reaching those people that it needs to reach.
Yeah.
And that's good enough for me.
But thank you very much for coming in today. It was really fun to talk to you.
Thank you very much for your lovely questions. Thank you.
Awesome.